welcome.
Grand Rising, Mandii.
Oh, you right. My bad. Grand Rising, King and Queens. Welcome to another episode of Whoreible Decisions. We are joined today by a very special guest.
We are. I'm Weezy.
Oh, yeah, and I'm Mandii.
We are in
I'm
LA,
that bitch,
by the way, which I'm going to be real. I don't know if you have LA energy to me. I was very surprised that you lived here.
Oh, yeah, because I'm from Oakland.
Oh, are you?
It was giving Wakanda energy.
This is very health as well.
What is?
That's
juice
some watermelon juice.
Come on, keep it black.
Yeah,
what does that do? Because, like, I done told the people what beet juice does for the man. What does watermelon juice do for you?
It just hydrates you. You know what I'm saying? Put all of them nutrients inside.
You know what it makes taste good. But let's keep it clean.
Wait, it makes it taste good?
Anything sweet, it filters out through your body.
Really?
Oh, yeah. If you ever want to, like, taste super, super sweet, think about all the, like, vitamins they're giving to make your pussy taste good. That's all bullshit. It's just sweet shit, sugar. It's bullshit. Just eat fruit.
Or chocolate. Or candy. Like, anything sweet?
No.
See what I mean?
Candy's processed.
Oh. Natural sugars. Sorry, we're not going to make it that nasty this quick.
We got 19 keys in the building. I feel like we're all, like, podcast family in a way because we're connected.
Yeah.
Except not really because we not as, you know.
Hotel? Oh, we Heauxteppin.
Are you a Heauxteppin?
You a Heauxteppin. But you're not a Heauxteppin. You just dress like one?
No, listen. So, somebody pull up the phone. What is the definition of Heauxteppin?
Oh, here we go.
Lord.
Here we go. Not just
No, I want to know because, you know, for me, before I talk about certain conversations and words, I got to know what it means to you and what
to be
it means
honest,
to me.
when I say Heauxteppin, I'm making a joke in, like, a Twitter sphere way of, like, somebody that's, like, spiritually conscious.
But I mean, close. Heauxteppin, for those of you who don't know, is an Egyptian word that roughly translates as to be satisfied at peace. The word also refers to an offering ritually presented to a deity or dead person. Hence, be pleased, be gracious, be at peace. You walked in and said peace. Yeah. It is and then it just say hieroglyphics and shit.
Yeah, a person would say Heauxteppin, they say peace, to be at peace. It's kind of like to be stoic, right? It's just a state of being, if anything, right? So,
damn, it sounds real positive here.
It is. You feel me? But that's why, you know, when I start hearing the word Heauxteppin, it's more derogatory term in the way that people talk about people that I believe come off eccentrically conscious. I think right now it's more so being known as, you know, one of the more outspoken voices in the Black community that you can go to for solid leadership. And then we have the high level conversations, which is booming right now. And then, of course, you know, as a thought leader, you have to be somebody who actually got books. You have to have skill sets. You have to be in multiple industries. So I'm an entrepreneur. I teach financial education as far as spiritual education, physical, and sometimes political at the same time.
Yeah, I learned it. I think Master Investor. So Ian is one of the investors in the studio. And I was like, did you
Shout
know
out to Ian.
Yeah, love Ian. He was like, I said, did you know 19 is out here? And he was like, yeah. He was like, you know, he's really big for talking about crypto. Do people mainly like...
I think that it was just an easy niche for people to identify me with because I was one of the first main Black voices to speak about crypto while everybody was shunning it and only talking about, let's say, maybe stocks or safer financial investments. Me and my platform, I remember we was talking about futures, crypto, options, some of the riskier trading skill sets that you can get into. So, you know, early on, made a lot of people money by learning those skill sets, learning how to invest in crypto. And I listened to it and got into crypto and blockchain specifically because I felt like we talk about a lot of things in the Black space, but we don't have solutions for them. And I felt like cryptocurrency, initially when I heard about it, it was a decentralized way to not have to use like government banking and things of that nature.
Scam.
You know how like we just lost like a billion crabs? What happened to the billion day traders? Like them niggas was on Twitter all the time. They disappear like the crabs did.
No, day traders is making money right now.
But are they, I just don't see it.
Down.
No, because listen, right now, whether it's stocks or crypto, if you trade, this is your market. Right? Mm-hmm. Long term, this might not be your market because you're going to see your portfolio down. But if you are a trader, you making a lot of money during this market. They had one of the craziest days just the other week. You understand me? Where the market just shot up. I know me personally, right? And I know other people that are making money on a consistent and daily basis and they posting their profits. If you don't know how to trade, it is a much harder market because you're not going to be as lucky. But if you actually had a skill set, this is the best market for you to be trading crypto or stocks.
Now, can I ask you, they have to be on like the computer almost for hours, like during the day? What is it like I mean, I guess you wouldn't know what it's like dating them, but in terms of relationship wise, them niggas like live on the computer, their phones, like they constantly have to, right?
No, because the market is not all day. As far as crypto is an all day market, but for the most part, people have targets that they want to make throughout the day.
Okay.
People set a certain amount of trades, especially if you trade the stock market and you're doing options.
Mm-hmm.
You mostly go trade between, the morning and the afternoon, right? The market, if you're on this side of the West Coast, it closes at 1 o'clock. Right? So after that, your job is done. Now, some people, they go study the market. Somebody like Ian go tell you to study 50 pages a day. Now, I don't think that the average trader is doing nowhere near that, right? Some people, they just set up like my bro at Cheat Code and them. What they have is like algorithmic trading. So they have like bots that tell them to help them with the signals of the trades.
Mine's like auto set.
Yeah. And then you have some people that have communities, and those communities in the morning, they tell you, yo, this is the type of setups that we see in the market. This is what we think is going to go for the day. They take maybe 1 or 2 trades and then they done for the day. And then if you're doing something like
not
futures,
sex work, this is just like it.
It's giving
1 or 2
sex work.
and you done.
It's giving sex work, but only if your rates are high.
It's probably the same orgasmic feeling, but I don't know. It may be more profitable than sex work.
Now, I want to know, so obviously the ladies love you because...
Obviously, huh?
They do. I see them on every time I click on your live. I'll be like, can we learn about some money? Damn. So
they just want you to take your clothes off.
Is this, no lie, do people think that you're like, this is a front like that, like, oh, you be getting all the hoes, like this is the...
No, I've been doing this too long in front of the people. You know what I mean? I feel like if you
How old are you?
19.
Okay.
You know what?
No.
You know what? Men are normally able to share their age.
No, I'm 32 though.
Oh my God,
I'm about to hit my Christ year. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
You hit 33, that's that Christ year.
Okay, that's next year for me then.
Yeah.
Right there.
So, but no, I've never had that issue just because I've been doing it so long in front of the people that you can see my history. Like, you can't fake it when you got consistency. That's just character.
That's fair. Consistency is key.
Yeah.
Is that one of the 19?
That's one of them.
And you actually don't, I don't think anyone knows much about your personal life. Do you believe in just keeping relationships off of what,
For the most part, I think you got to ask, why do people want to know? For the most part, they don't want to know the support. They want to know the
No, I disagree. They want to know you're a relatable person.
So yeah, some of that, but I'm saying to know the ins and the details of all of that. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind letting you know if I'm in a relationship or not, but you needing to know and update on it consistently, I feel like it's none of your business.
Listen, the way that we record, like we bulk record this podcast, and we literally just recorded a Patreon episode yesterday, and I was like, the things that we talk about, by the time it airs, I feel like it's a reality show because I'm talking about being single while I'm waking up next to my nigga. So it's just like, but it's 2 months, like what we recorded was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's like, I know a lot of people that listen to us feel like they're in tune with our lives, but they know.
But that's
like 2
another
months
thing.
later.
So many things be changing. People get invested into a relationship, and then the next month they out of it. And then people are mad at you for not being in that relationship.
Or it's the worst.
In and out. And
then
in and out,
also
and in
a
and
lot
out.
of the value, and this is one of the things I wanted to talk about with you too, because I feel like a lot of the conversations I've seen you have are masculine, feminine energy. I prefer your clips to a lot of other socially conscious, that bracket of dudes, because I feel like you don't necessarily put women down, and a lot of those men do.
But it still kind of is giving fresh and it. Like, just a little bit.
Fresh and fit don't even date black.
I said it.
That's not even. We're not even.
I don't even fuck with them
close.
I don't know. I just don't know.
First of all, them niggas are ugly, and every bitch on their podcast is a 3.
I wasn't talking specifically about them, but when men, to me, speak on feminine energy or roles of women and what they should be doing or what they not doing, to me, that's what that's given. I don't want to hear that.
I don't listen. See, I don't think there's nothing wrong with men giving their opinion on feminine energy or what they want from a woman. That's what we want the most. That's what we think about the most. You understand me? So we're going to have a huge opinion, ideology, and a philosophy on what we want.
You got to keep in mind too, they're very demeaning.
Man.
A lot of those guys really put women down. I don't know if we could find a clip where they're calling women and not bitches and hoes.
Well, yeah, because we got a conflict-driven, media-based society.
100%.
Right? So you're talking about clips that go viral. Those are the men that have what people hate and they find distasteful, and they share it and they talk about it and they make it successful.
Yeah.
But they're pretty sure that there's plenty of men that's having respectful conversations about women, but that ain't gonna go viral. You understand me? The ignorance is gonna go viral way faster than respect.
Yeah.
So that's what you see, but that's not the totality of what's happening. I know they got like manospheres and red pills and all that weird stuff.
Nuts, yeah.
You know, for me, I didn't know nothing about that. I think my bro Mike Rashid told me about that shit. But even them, they don't particularly, like successful men that, just get it out naturally. Right? Because I feel like they feel like they got to learn some kind of secret algorithm of life in order to get with women and to walk a certain way. And they kind of like hate people or hate certain type of men, that's like myself.
No, they cornballs with money.
We just melanated and grateful.
They the crypto dudes that couldn't get pussy before the price went up. That's a fact though too. That's what I really blanket those dudes into. But getting into the independent thing with women, I'm curious on your opinion on this because since I've grown and elevated in entrepreneurship, like many women in our space, right? We all know these girls. I feel like I have the Kevin Samuels-esque crowd that will come in. And he wasn't necessarily, I'm not a fan of his, but he wasn't necessarily a bitch or hoe type dude like Fresh and Fit. But he was one of those dudes that are like, if you make a certain amount of money, men won't want you. You're not desirable. Why is it that an independent woman seems like she can't be a good mate, wife, or mother? Like, I still want to cook for my nigga, even if I'm busting my ass.
It's counterintuitive, right? Because at the end of
what part is?
Independent,
okay.
Right? It's the same thing as saying that you want a dependent man, right? These two go opposite of each other, right? Because an independent woman depends on no one, and a dependent man can't be dependent on.
What should we depend on our man for?
For protection, provision, right? It could be spiritual guide. It could be education. A man who wants to.
But you haven't said money yet.
The priest, the prophet. That's being a provider. That's provision.
But I'm saying like all of these things that I would want for a man. Don't get me. I would love a man pay for my shit.
Right. But that doesn't mean that you can't have your own money.
But also, why did you go directly to the independent and the dependent?
Because those are the polar opposites.
But do you not believe that two independent people can exist together in a relationship?
I don't think they need each other. I think that what is the point of having relationships? The same thing if you get a business partner that you don't need. What are y'all in business for?
That's actually a fair rebuttal, even though I don't necessarily agree.
But we're not monolithic as human beings. And so to me, I've had this conversation even with my ex a lot. Like he often felt he struggled in how I needed him or if I needed him or how he should even show up as a man with me. And as women, even when we're independent, sometimes we just want comfort. Sometimes we want emotional maturity or someone just to be with. Like, so in the ways that I needed him, where men feel like this is what makes me a man with everything you just listed off, it was frustrating to me as someone who I'm not coming at you for your money, right? Because my bills are paid. You pay your own bills. As human beings, the same way I look at friendships, I would hope that we can connect on just a human level in needing each other the same way I need my friends, the same way I'll run to my mom for certain things. Like I want to encompass you more than you being my bodyguard or my wallet.
Right. No, that is a very important aspect of it, right? So a man is not just physical and material. Like being emotionally there for a woman is very important because women are more feelers and we're more thinkers.
Right.
So those are where we have those mix-ups and those opposites, right? Being able to, like, men like to come to a conclusion of certain things and women like to feel their way through things, right? Like when you're having debates and argument, it's not about, let's just come to the logical conclusion of this because we want to end it by coming to a conclusion. I was listening to Sa Guru, he was talking about things die when they come to a conclusion, right? Women exist in emotion, which is motion, is life. We want to continue for this thing to have life. We don't just want you to end this off with your logical thought process. So for a man, there's a lot of lack of learning how to be in your full development of a divine man, a masculine man. And that goes beyond, right? Most of what society teaches is like, if you don't have money, if you don't have status, right? If you don't look good in material, a woman ain't gonna want you. Then when you get in a relationship, she's attracted to you for those things, but now she wants you to have these other skill sets, right? To be emotionally there for. But that's not what women are propagating as the highest level of men that provide emotional support.
So since you do believe that it would basically repel against each other, are you telling me that when you're meeting women or looking at women, that ambitious women or women that want more aren't necessarily something that attracts you?
I mean, if we're doing business together, for surely.
But not as a partner. Like relationship.
If it depends on what my goal and what my vision is. Does this fit into my goal and my vision? Otherwise, you got to literally like a woman having her own ambition, ideas, vision, intelligence is immaculate, is beautiful, is great. at some point in times, that sometimes that particular ambition will have y'all going in opposite directions, right? So it's like your business is halfway across the planet, mine is over here. We too busy for each other.
What about in this scenario?
A man wants emotional support as well.
I don't understand. And I think that
independent woman can
because that's what that feminine energy does. When you got a feminine woman, after you're done dealing with the world, she's there helping console you. But she's dealing with the world as well. Y'all gotta goddamn console each other, and neither one of y'all got energy for
So an independent
So you don't like the word teammate then?
A lot of independent women lack the type of feminine energy that is nurturing in the relationship.
So let's say that we have no idea what you're talking about. Independent women that are let's say they got a hair salon, hair business, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're making mad.
Bringing up the hair salon.
No, that was just on my mind because they're making mad bread. These are women making millions, right? I know what you're talking about. Some girl told me I wasn't shit because I ran a podcast and probably had a hair salon. But anyway, so she said, y'all think y'all successful with that. They are, yo. They're millionaires. So that girl, working 40 hours a week, dealing with some stuff. What are the things she's probably lacking in femininity? Even though she's servicing women, those are probably her clientele. What are the things that she might be lacking as an entrepreneur that you could get from someone else?
She's probably not going to lack we talking about for me as an entrepreneur?
No, like as her as an entrepreneur.
She's probably not lacking and she's a millionaire and she's successful. But as a feminine woman in a relationship, these are two different things. It's your value in the world, right? And then it's your value to me as far as a person that I'm in a relationship with. I'm not in a relationship with the whole world. I only have expectations of this one person. Right. And when we talk about relationships, we're talking about what we want and expect from this one person, not every woman in the world. Right. So if I'm a man that is already having my success, right, then therefore, when I come home, I want someone there that can help console and help me take it to that next level.
What about men that don't have your success?
But them men don't matter right now. Because they don't have options. You know what I'm saying?
But that's the average listener of our content, all of ours.
But listen though, because when we talking about independent people, right? And when we talking about women specifically that are successful, to a man, that success matters like this much, right? Because it has nothing to do with how's that going to help me in life.
That I agree with, but why is it a deterrent?
Because I'm explaining to you. Because a woman's money is her own money. Right? So number one, it's not financially beneficial just because even the way that we have roles set up in society that
it's financially beneficial if you don't have to spend your money on her.
Right. But you as a man, you're going to always want to spend your money on your woman. Right. Because then what other value do you have in that relationship if you can't be a provider? If a woman tell you, I don't need you to protect me, well, damn, you don't need me in that area. Like a man has to feel some sort of value, purpose, and worth in a relationship as well. The same way a woman will want to if a man is completely taking care of her and she's asking him, yo, what can I do? And he say nothing. Then she's going to feel like, damn, what can I do? I don't have any value.
You brought it back to the same two things, though. And it's because this is literally the conversation I've had over the last 2 years with my ex. Like
her ex, who was a Black Muslim man, by the way.
Oh, yes, shout out to that brother.
And amongst other things. But you brought it right back to protecting and providing. And to me, my argument has always been,
that's a high level, though.
But yeah, but I show up and I cook as a woman. I show up and I'm thoughtful to his needs, his wants. Sexually, we communicate. Like, this is where...
So he only provided in one way. Did he provide mentally and spiritually and emotionally
100%.
as well?
And that's where, though, to me, in speaking to men, specifically Black men, they don't feel their value is of any value if it's not protecting and providing. And I think that's been the hardest.
I think it hasn't been defined that protecting is also protecting spiritual and emotionally as well, right? It's not just physical protection, right? Because for the most part, physical protection is not going to come up that often.
Right,
unless you live in a war zone.
Yeah, we not out here fighting,
so
right.
That's not happening. You're not even proving that part to whether you can even be a great physical protector in the first place. But when you're talking about providing that protection, every woman wants to feel safe. You understand me?
That's why they don't torment.
Yeah, she gets in a relationship with a man that can make her feel safe. That would actually override a lot of things that she would take from in another relationship where she feels unsafe. So protection is key. But that protection is financial protection, spiritual protection, emotional protection. All of those areas have to be encompassed when you say protecting and providing. So they're very big, but they're multidimensional. right? And I think that some relationships first focus on one dimension, right? And so a man try to figure out, how do I become great at this dimension and project myself at that? Then he gets in a relationship and now he's expected to be multidimensional, which are most likely his weaknesses, right? And then he's graded on that when he's in a relationship. But what got him in a relationship was that one dimension. Well, I look like a protector, right? I look like a provider. I got some money, but that doesn't mean I got emotional intelligence. That doesn't mean I know how to spiritually console a person. That doesn't mean I really understand the dynamics of masculine and feminine energy. So I feel like a lot of men today have lost the art of manhood. So when they get in relationships, they react in the way that they know how and what they say.
I really appreciate you saying this, because I feel like a lot of the rhetoric we hear today, Black women are eclipsing Black men in entrepreneurship numbers, right? Which means that a lot of men are feeling insecure. So now they're like, you're losing your womanhood. Well, we out here, why shouldn't I be the best version of myself, right? Is that making me undesirable? And I would say then, to those women that are seeking a man that can do those things, how do you show up, in your opinion? Because we could answer this all day, but as you who are, are interested in women, how do you then show up for your mate and still provide for yourself? Like, I don't want to wait 5 years at 20 years old for a nigga to just show up when, frankly, a lot of them ain't shit. Let's just be real. It's like, why can't I be building my empire too? I want a nice house. I want a vacation with my friends. What am I supposed to do? Am I not supposed to build while waiting for you?
Fucking and brokeness.
No, you supposed to build yourself up. Listen, that whole entire time, you understand me? Because what you're talking about is building all of your ambitions, right? What a man looks for the most part, when he see a woman, he's trying to look at, like, who are you though? You understand me? Like, because how much money you got and all of that shit, that's not what makes me attracted to you. You know what I'm saying? Are you a nurturing person? Are you a good person? Are you a feminine person? Like, who are you at your core? You talking about things as far as ambition and legacy. Those are masculine things. Those are very logical things that you want to provide for yourself.
Those are masculine things?
Well, because ambition is masculine energy. We all have masculine and feminine energy, but ambition to go out there and
the emotional is the feminine and
material things, like, I feel like even like a lot of things that we do is masculine. A lot of things we do is feminine, right? The way we dress ourselves and the way we express ourselves, that's a feminine thing. Fashion is feminine, right? But going to get money, that's more of a masculine pursuit in the way we go about doing it. Building business is a masculine disposition. That's a logical endeavor. It doesn't require emotions to build business.
I want to throw something at you that I thought about years ago. We had an episode with my mom, and my mom never worked. She was a housewife. And she would always tell me, like, okay, we don't eat until daddy comes home. We got to set his plate. We got to do this. And we had an episode with my mom where I cooked for my ex. Remember that? I ended up dating him for a few years. But Mandii was like, no fucking way. We should not be cooking, or you shouldn't be cooking for a nigga that's not your man. And I was like, well, how? He comes over, he takes me to dinner. This is my way to show him. And that was really what my mom taught me to do. Now, we've had split comments on this, right? Where one, why do these things for a man that aren't your man yet, right? He's got the cow that he didn't buy yet, so to speak, something like that. And on the other end, in my brain, I was like, well, I'm showing him I'm a good girlfriend. But Mandi's like, well, you're doing all this shit before you're his girlfriend, right? When you're a boss bitch on this side, he should be happy to be with a woman like you. What is the role that women should be taking when initially dating? Should they be showing up all the way in their full selves like that?
I think that you show up whoever they are. I mean, that whole idea, and this is a trick bag, like, is you got to ask yourself, is that successful, right? We get a lot of advice from our parents that just don't matter.
And Steve Harvey, right?
It wasn't right. You understand me? And so we be remembering a lot of indoctrination and traditionalism that your parents passed down from their parents and parents, but that shit didn't matter. We want to see a woman for who they are. If you a cooker, then cook. Yeah. You understand me? Don't do it because you're in a relationship, or not do it because you're not in a relationship. If you're a woman that likes to cook, just cook. And then I'm going to see, okay, that's one of the things I like about her. She likes to cook. You understand me? It's like if you get with a man you think is spiritual, then you start faking like you meditate every day. If that ain't what you do.
Have you experienced that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure. You feel me? I feel like people try to show up as a reflection of what they think they want their partner to see in them and what their partner is attracted to. But I feel like if you show up as your true self, then you give a person the opportunity to like you for you.
Right.
You understand me? Because like I said, maybe a person can be impressed by the things that you've done, but that's not the reason they go love you. You understand me? They gonna love you for how you treat them or how you make them feel, right? And so that's the same thing with a man. If you're gonna make a man feel good, he gonna want that in his life. You understand me? And it depends on his level of maturity and development as a man, because every man is different. So a lot of times women in society speak on men like we a monolith. Right? There's varying degrees, levels, educations, like ethnicities, backgrounds. Everybody is different in their development. So it also may just be that you may be attracted to men who are not fully developed. You understand me? And so a lot of women are not attracted to mature men. They're attracted to, immature things. And then when they get in a relationship, they want that man to be mature. And it's like, damn, well, that ain't why you wanted me.
Let's talk about, as a man who I feel like respects women, let's talk about hoe-ass niggas. Because here's what's going on.
I don't really spend a lot of time thinking about them, but okay.
Because I think they really do need to hear from you, right? Here's the thing.
Wait, define hoe-ass niggas.
I'm about to say it.
Okay.
A lot of the men today that have money have access to a bunch of women.
Yeah.
The more clout, the more women you have.
Yeah.
And we're attracted to the men with money, right? The Casanova. But at the same time, are you really able to develop fully as a man to that level that you're talking about if you're running around with a bunch of women? Do you think that men are able to show up in their most masculine energy if they've got 10 or 15 girls in freaking rotation? Like, do men with money having a bunch of women, is that something that's going to come with it? Is that something women should expect?
Well, I think women are attracted to money. You understand me? And so therefore, men with money often have the options to have a lot of women, right? So that's just a reality. Now, but that doesn't make you a man, right? I think you got to define what is a man, right? I think that it's what a man is his principles, you know what I mean? His virtues and the things that he believes in that qualifies. A man is the way he thinks, right? So to go from being a boy to a man, that means that he's changed the way he thinks in a way that he manages himself and he's developed himself into this position. The problem is not a lot of women know how to identify a man, right? So you're looking at a male, right, who may still be maturely as a boy, right? And you may still be attracted to boyish things, you know what I mean? As a woman, that's what you want because you may still be young and a girl in your maturity.
What are those boyish
well.
things you think that women like?
Just seeing, just the way a man dresses and the money he has and the status he has. These are more,
Tangibles.
Shit that we learned in high school, right? Popularity. Yep. You understand me? Who looks like they got some money and, what other type of women are attracted to him. Right. But is that man respectful? Does he have dignity? Does he have courage? Is he intelligent? Is he loyal? Right? Is he responsible? Is he disciplined? Is he focused? Those are qualities of a man that most women are not looking at to determine whether they're attracted to him or not.
And I wanted to step in on that as well, just because it's been something current. Floyd Mayweather, who is one of those very wealthy men with a lot of women, he recently took to his Instagram and put, everybody always asks me, when am I getting married or why am I not married? I'm not married for the same reason the divorce rate is so high. The only person I will truly trust is myself. Therefore, it eliminates disappointment. He said he has nothing against people who are married. Those are just his personal beliefs. He has multiple women. And Ali Chapa also just came out and said that I want multiple women. We talk about...
Is he the one with 10 kids?
No, that's NBA Youngboy.
Like 20
that's Youngboy. Yeah, and he's like 20 years old. He was in a relationship with a woman who was like 30, and she thought that she could convince him that he could be monogamous. He went into the relationship saying I needed these multiple women, and so because we do talk about non-traditional relationships, I also don't want to just throw it out there that niggas who entertain multiple women with a lot of money are stunted mature wise, because I don't think they are. I think they're a little bit more honest than the regular niggas that are saying that they could be monogamous and they can't and they're cheating. So I do just want to distinguish that even the men with money are very open about not only their access, but that they need multiple women.
Well, I also think you got to take into account, man, if you are a man that lives in 2022 today, right? Your reality is completely different than any other man in any other period in time. Like no other man in any other period, when all of the rules and constructs was created, has social media.
Yes.
Right?
This access is crazy.
It changes the level of discipline and responsibility and focus that a man will have when it comes to choosing a woman. It's a fact. You understand me? It's a fact. Your pops ain't never see all of the twerking in his life.
I'm only
because
I'm just saying it's different.
It's a really honest thing.
Okay.
I agree. Like, I think temptation always exists, but I can't imagine knowing you could just click on her and have her. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and you can now.
That is crazy.
Like, ball players don't even got to go to the club no more. They slide in DMs, bitch, pull up to the hotel.
Yeah,
Niggas not going out to dinners. They're not going to clubs anymore. They
Uber is a sex delivery service.
Here we go. Uber is a sex delivery service.
That's correct.
Okay, I know that's right.
Yeah, at first drivers used to deliver pizza. Now they deliver women.
Do you put them in a black car?
You understand me? Huh?
You ain't never put a bitch in a share ride, did you?
Chill out. I don't even get in share rides. I only do Uber Black.
Come on now. I do want to know, have you ever had like a hoe phase? And by that, I mean just like sleeping around, having fun. Or is it difficult for you because you do feel like you need to be spiritually connected for women? Can you like just have a one night? And
No, I'm from Oakland, man. So growing up, I got an older brother. You understand me? He taught me the game at a young age. So at a young age, I wanted to sow my royal oats as well. And I looked at it as stripes on the belt. You feel me?
Oh, my royal oats. Look how you make this shit sound.
You understand?
You came ready. You came ready.
That's a clean hoe.
I plant my seeds where I feel like they need to be.
I was once a farmer. Right. You understand me?
Do you have kids?
No, not yet. No, but yeah, I'm a man. You understand me?
Oh, it's the semen
and an immaculate being. So
here we go.
At a high level, I've always had women attracted to me at a high level. You understand me? And I got multiple brothers. You understand me? And they've always had that as well. And being from Oakland, California, you learn how to speak very well and communicate with women.
He said, "High level conversations, high level pussy." I know that's right.
It ain't never been an issue. Is all I'm saying.
He said, "I got it."
But no, listen though, because a lot of men learn how to, first get women through social media.
Yeah.
So that changes the dynamic psychologically on how they look at women and how they look at themselves, right?
About our age, though, we're the last of where you had to meet
of reality. Like you had to go to the mall, the movie theaters.
Men around 32 to 35 recently, because I've always seemed to be attracted to men in their 40s. And now I'm starting to like it because they kind of on the shit that I'm on. They'll still do something nice, like leave me a voice message or like not be scared to be a little romantic.
A voice message. Like niggas will just voice message.
Not a voice note.
I got a voice.
So that means that you didn't answer the call. Everybody leaving no voice message.
That's a voice.
No, so you sitting there to the answer machine so they can leave voice messages. I send you a voice note.
That's what I
look like leaving a voice message.
So wait, you not leaving a voicemail?
He in his 50s leaving voice messages.
Wait, is it not a voice message when it's a text?
After the beep is a voice message.
That's a voice message after the beep.
At the voice message, yeah. Voice note is when they directly send you a message.
Niggas be leaving me shit and they be talking nice. And I like that shit.
I don't like that because the voice notes now, nigga, why you can't pick up your phone and call me? I feel like that's some young nigga shit. Pick up the phone and call me.
I hate a text message. Yes, I love phone calls, but the text message to me is too casual.
It's a letter. A text message is a letter. It's romantic.
It ain't take no effort.
A text message is
romantic.
IG comment is a letter too. Fuck that.
It's a comment. You know what I mean? It's a miniature letter.
I got no standards. I want a voice note. That's sad.
That's really bad, actually.
A voice note, some good food, and some dick. Okay. Speaking of dicks.
Yes, we're going to get into yours. Well, not get into you. I mean, all right.
One of the craziest clips, and I told you,
this is why we brought
this shit made me laugh so hard. Mainly because, when you're like at this point where you hear something so woke that you're like, damn, am I asleep? So there was a dude you interviewed on High Level Conversations. What was his name? The one
Yaki.
With the Snickers. Yeah, and he talked about the over-sexualization of Black men, which we know is true. But one of the things you guys covered was semen retention, which I feel like is insane because I can't imagine I'm having sex. I'm like,
I told Crystal we were having this conversation today because I can't remember. She met you somewhere. I don't even. I think maybe in Vestfest. And we were talking. I was like, yeah, he does the semen retention. She said that nigga childish, and I don't even want to hear about it.
But we hear about athletes that do that shit.
But the way that women. We want to see that. That's almost our sign of you being pleased by us and us doing our job. And like the way we talked about how you expect women to show up.
Yeah, but
that's
okay.
a part of the masculine energy.
We always do it.
Who said, first of all, y'all are saying a lot of things that I actually do or what I don't do. I don't think I've said on that episode whether I practice active semen retention all the time or not at all.
Yeah, not all the time. I just know that you were talking about it.
What periods though? When do you practice it?
So, I mean, I've tried it before. You understand me? I think that I first read up on semen retention and the benefits, right?
So what is it? Let's talk about it.
So first benefit is discipline. right? It's the same thing if you fasting from food, right? And so we made the food sex connection on there, and the food sex connection is like when you eat, you're generally going to have more blood flowing down to your genital areas, right? So that's going to automatically leave opportunity for more excitement. You understand me? Or arousal, right? Just food and sex, period. But when we're talking about fasting now is less blood going down towards your genital areas. Now you're actually more disciplined, because when you are fasting from anything, you start to think about all the other things that you don't need as well, right? Excitement leads away the mind. And so during sex, it's what happens during sex? You start breathing, you start panting,
edging,
you lose
isn't it?
Energy. Huh?
Well, no, that's not coming.
So
semen retention
edging is holding your cum and saving it and saving it and saving it. So to me, semen retention just never having the peak.
Well, no, that's two different things. So it can be that. It can be actually fasting from sex, right? Or it can be during the time of sex, you are learning to disconnect orgasm from ejaculation.
And I wanted to ask you that because it literally says you can learn how to orgasm without ejaculating. What does that then?
See, well, now y'all talked about polygamy, right? So back in the day, let's say if a man has multiple women, he got to be able to satisfy those multiple women as well.
Right.
Imagine you the one that don't get it.
But what I'm saying, so if he can separate actually having ejaculating from his orgasm, then he can have sex over and over and over and over.
Have you taught yourself how to do that?
I'm a master at many things.
Have you ever, I had recently a friend of mine talks about breath work and DMT, how your brain naturally gives DMT. Uh-huh. Is that part of it?
Well, when you have any orgasm, that's what they call chi or energy, right? So that's what they call mental orgasms as well. So the idea is keeping that energy sustained within the body, right? Because that same creative force, that powerful force that comes together when you have sex, that's life force, that's creative force, that's producing force. So after a man has an orgasm or ejaculates is different than after a woman. Our body breaks down because now we have to recreate that semen, right? Where a woman's body is different. She can continue to have orgasms without getting tired. So a man's body is completely different than a woman's body. So that's Western sex practice, is just more so coming together, having sex. Whether you're talking about Eastern practices is more tantric, where it is reviving of the energy, and it is less of, humping, and it's more of making love, if you will.
Yeah, it says that other names for semen retention is coitus reservatus, seminal conservation, and sexual continence. And like you were saying, where we see it as a part of Western civilizations to just have sex, it actually says that semen retention is part of practices such as Taoism, tantric sex, like you said, Maituna, Kareza, and Kayenpu Yang A Kayampu Yang.
She said Tao like the restaurant.
Literally, bro, no, it says it that many times.
But yeah, that's the weaving of energies. That's what that tantric is. It's weaving y'all energies together. You understand me? Which actually makes the sex last longer rather than just jumping into it.
Tantric is a real
powerful.
I've only done tantric sex with women, which is the most intense thing, because I think sometimes men, that testosterone gets you in a rush. And with women,
I've had it on shrooms. It was great.
Tantric sex?
It's because no one could get up.
It's like the refractory period for men, which is the time it takes to get back up. Like, women can keep having multiple orgasms or reserve it.
But see, also I feel like women are selfish in that area the same way men are selfish in many areas.
In what way?
Because nowadays, women do not know how to help a man have multiple orgasms the same way men don't know. Hold on. Wait. Let me finish my sentence. The same way, historically, men have not known how to help women have multiple orgasms. But see, the whole idea, the Eastern, that it is a partnership. Y'all both coming together to help each other expand in that area, right? And that's kind of like how, you got to think about sex is the same way you kind of do the relationship in a little bit at the same time.
For sure.
Right? Because people usually put responsibility on one partner for that comfort or for that satisfaction, right? When it's supposed to be a partnership of both energies coming together to help each other climax to that area.
Wholeheartedly agree, because I think pleasure I feel like sometimes it shifts where we put it all on the women, like she is to service men. And then in a lot of like pillow princesses, women that just...
There we go, pillow.
Pillow.
There we go. You said it right. There
she think I can't say the word pillow. How you say it?
Pillow.
Pillow. Pillow.
Go ahead.
Whatever. Where women will just pretty much lay there and not do much, right? But I think it has shifted over time as like men have to fuck the shit out of you. Women have to make sure they do this. And really, in reality, the best sex I've ever had is when we're both pleasers. And when you're both focused on pleasing each other, it turns into the best sex. And truly, that's kind of what Tantra is. You do have to connect with each other's bodies. Yeah. And I think it's a very sexy thing to learn each other. Like a lot of people will come on here and say their best tip for sex is communication, which gets exhausting. But all that really means is talking about it together. Like, yeah, you could tell somebody what you want, but you should be asking too. Because I would hate if someone fucked me, especially after 7 years of doing this show, and be like, she was terrible. Like,
but maybe you just weren't for him. Like, maybe you could be too kinky, too freaky, too nasty for somebody, and they could think that you were bad.
But I definitely am a chameleon with sex.
What does that mean?
It means, like, if I know I've got a really, really, really nasty bitch, and then maybe one is just kind of like, oh, I just want to, I'll do that. I get off on whatever you getting off on, to be honest. Yeah, I have my own kinks, but, like, I think that's how we can learn to be better partners. We should figure out what you like and take pleasure in you having pleasure. And a lot of people can't do that. You know what I'm saying? They're so focused on themselves that we can't enjoy the other person having pleasure. That means being able to give someone an orgasm and getting nothing from it. Like, if you're only thinking about yourself during sex, it's not really going to be that enjoyable.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
I think that people just need to learn how to, number one, have partnerships. You understand me? Like, when we talk about relationships, I think everybody kind of, dehumanizes each other. The way men talk about women, the way women talk about men is completely dehumanized. It's nothing spiritual about it anymore at all. And if you don't have a spiritual connection with a person, that relationship is going to end at some point in time quick, right? All of those other things that's going to keep you together, like what Mayweather talked about. Number one, the reason for most divorces is finances.
For sure.
So the statement didn't make sense to me because Mayweather got a lot of money.
He could barely read and write. So.
Right.
What makes a relationship
I ain't gonna say that. I think the brother.
No, he came out. He said it.
Right, but he's highly intelligent. You understand me?
Can't read,
you don't get to the level of Mayweather of ownership, of being undefeated and creating those kind of deals and getting that kind of money. You know, one thing he know how to read is them contracts, and I feel like that's enough, especially for black men.
Know how to pay for lawyers
because a lot of black men know how to read a lot of books, but when it comes to them contracts and that legalese, they don't know how to do that. And he does pretty good business as far as him being able to amass that wealth. But I just wanted to say that. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about most relationships are failing because of money, and then also just the culture today around marriage, right? There's no marriage culture. There's no real celebration of that. There's more celebration of hoe culture than there is family culture.
That's fair.
And I think that we're in a space of sexual liberation for where women never could like celebrate the fact that they enjoyed sex, that they enjoyed their bodies, that they enjoyed the things that they could wear
because
freely.
Whore culture, you're saying, is basically the umbrella of celebration of ownership, no?
But to me, it's free. You
said what now?
Sexually freedom.
Because I was going to say, when I say hoe, I make jokes when I talk about hoe shit, right?
Yeah.
Like, I wish I was getting some dick, but I ain't even a hoe right now. But I'll joke about being one because to me, it's the umbrella of like, I'm sexually liberated, right?
Right.
I'm free to do whatever I want. I have a lot of ownership over my body. I know what I like.
Have the rights to do that.
So I understand where women have been historically oppressed, right? In many different facets. I think what's dangerous is today where the word freedom and liberation is used, where a lot of people can actually become slaves of their sexual desires, and it's not freeing. They're more addicted to it, right? So when you start crossing the line where it's sexual addiction or a person is actually, being enslaved by their lower desires because they can't control themselves, that's not liberation and that's not freedom. But everything can fit under this umbrella. So I think that the brand is misguided.
What brand?
The brand of sexual liberation and sexual freedom.
So, see, this is where it's like, it teeters for me. A lot of our show is about unleashing kinks and sex lives of people, right? It goes to different umbrellas, like an episode with yours. It's not necessarily that. But many people that we've learned over the years don't really understand, 1, how to channel their sexual energy, 2, what they're into, or 3, how to explore it in a safe way. That to me is under that umbrella, because if I don't have dialogue with whether it be at a college or at our live show, a lot of women will come up to us and say, I had my first orgasm because of you, or I was able to lose my virginity because I had sexual trauma and I couldn't disconnect it. Like, it's all in there.
What about the people that have all of the sexual problems where they don't have sexual discipline, right? So is that community being addressed as well? Where
but there's men,
right? Men and women,
person.
right? It's men and women. When I see here the sex culture is not just a women's culture; it's men and women that is now participating because. If women are having sex with men, then, it's both our cultures.
I'm not a fan of sex addicts. I dated one. It was awful.
Right. So, but that's what I mean. A lot of people are being driven by sex, right? Most marketing is based on sex. Sex sells, right? So you buying the fly clothes, the shoes, all of this stuff so you can increase your chances of having sex.
Right.
Right? This is the probably one of the bigger issues with relationships is that men trying to increase their chances of having sex. They have sex with the woman. Woman becomes emotionally connected. She has expectations of the man. Man has no expectations of the self. She's heartbroken. She hates men. And then it's a cycle.
I do think this is a male-led thing, though. And I'll tell you why. I think that most things that women do are for the male gaze. I think that the reason horrible decisions became quote-unquote popular to some is because
there doesn't need to be air quotes around popular.
No, I mean quote unquote.
Sorry,
I'm saying why this
what
thing.
were you quoting? This popular, bitch,
the reason that we're popular is what I'm
popular. Okay,
this particular reason, because we do talk about sexual health. But when I air quotes it, is because Mandii and I were normal girls talking about our own sex lives, right? Without fear of men judging us. And a lot of times, any homegirl I have, to me, I'm friends with a lot of baddies. The shit they do is for the male gaze. And it's because men are sexually driven. I noticed a difference, 19. I'm not playing with you. If I wear this outfit out or I'll wear a skirt, men coming up to me. It's a huge difference. When I saw you at that Black flea market shit, the month before I wore a dress, niggas was on my dick. I have the same face, bro. So at the end of the day, what is it? What's really going on?
Maybe your braids were different.
Are women over-sexualizing themselves to get men?
Well, a lot of them, they doing it to get money. You understand me? I think that now it's for success. A lot of it ain't even for men no more, right? Now, they understand that the culture of sex sells. Like, I heard a woman talking about, well, she went and got her new ass because she knew that was going to increase her opportunities, right? So a lot of this, body modification has nothing to do with men per se. It has everything to do with women ambition, right? Towards success and careers and opportunities that they want. Because men don't, to be honest, especially when it comes to like fake asses and stuff, we don't care about that kind of stuff. You understand me?
Dykeman, they do.
I disagree. Not the larger population of men to look at.
The larger
visual
creatures. But you said we're talking about the 6
right, but you're talking about visual creatures.
But also you brought up that women
are being hosts of social media now.
But the ambition is to land the men with the money who are going to spend the money on them.
Right, but they're doing it for the likes and the comments now, right? So they're not doing it for the male gaze. They're doing it for society's gaze. Right, so that they can increase, because now women are watching those videos of women that have, the large asses and the breast and all of this stuff. They doing it for views. They doing it to become personalities. They doing it to
semi-believe this because of the bartenders.
To those standards.
Do you believe this?
But the bartenders all got their bodies done to make more money and to get access to the men with money that like them.
Dude, that's still capitalism. You're not doing it for a partner though. That's different.
Well, a lot of women who don't want to fully work and maybe don't want to be a star tender or bartender forever, they're hoping to land a man that can provide for them. So then they're really doing it so that they can be that housewife.
Or they can provide for themselves. You understand me? So a lot of women are trying to figure out.
And not get the men we want.
They trying to figure out, how do I capitalize off society's standards of selling sex, the male gaze, without needing a man? So the idea is I'm going to capitalize visually how I know men are attracted and stimulated by this, but I don't actually want a man. You understand me? So it's a completely different than a woman saying that I'm going to wear this small dress so that I can get a man.
I'll be honest. And then I feel like it's the opposite. And unfortunately, it's because where men mostly do lead with their pockets, women are doing this because maybe they don't want a certain type of man. They want a certain type of lifestyle. And so literally a lifestyle normally comes with the attachment to a man. I only want to be a housewife and I don't want to work. I just want to be at home and I want the nice bags and I want the nice car and I want to live in the mansion. So even going to modify their body is in hopes to land that man that will get them the lifestyle that they truly want.
That's part of it. But also when you look at female rappers, their main audience is not men. right? But yet they're very sexualized in the way that they dress, right? If you go look at WAP or you go look at any one of those are like women and young girls that's watching that and like gay men that's watching that for the most part at the same time, right? That's that core audience that they getting their money from. So I'm saying that a lot of this sexual liberation, a lot of this culture now is based on capitalism. It has nothing to do whether you actually want a partner or not.
So how do you then become the person that, to me, I think one of the things that really helped me develop into a good partner and woman was being able to have some leadership roles and become independent. I really believe it fueled me into being a better partner. Like, I understood what it was like to manage people, to manage my own house and my own shit. And now I think I can live the life to where I can have some time off. I have the team and I could be a good partner. But how do we as women become that quote unquote boss bitch? And at the same time, be able to still find someone that we can meet that will give us that family that we all want, right?
Well, what do you want to do for the person that you with? Do you want to help them? What do you want to do for the person that you with?
But here's the thing, though, because the person that you're with, if they're not here yet, right? Like, that's what I'm saying. Because basically, this independence is a deterrent to men that are successful. Because you're right. Successful men don't want it. What did Iman Shumpert say? Like, I don't know, Tiana Great, whatever. I don't need none of that. So it's like, how do you coexist? To me, what do I want to do? I would love to be someone's partner in crime. I would love to know that you can come home at night. I would love a man to know that I'm not
trying to rob a bank.
I don't want to just rub your head, bro. I want you to know that I'm also well-read. I'm also smart. That feels good to me, and it gives me value.
I asked the question because I think it's very clear as far as what society expects from men. But there's not much clarity on what society expects from women.
I do agree with that.
You understand
But
me?
I shouldn't be answering that question, though. That's the question to you.
But then women say they don't want men's opinion. So it's a very confusing thing.
I'm asking you, sitting
You know what I'm saying? But y'all started this off with,
you're right,
you know what I'm saying? You don't want niggas' opinions and men's opinions.
Well, because it's weird because
when men say it, though, women are taking that as disrespect. They saying that this is misogyny. This is this, that, and the third. So there's a lot of conversation of men saying what they want from women.
I think misogyny is the finger in your face. Don't be doing X, Y, Z. Basically, sit at home, do nothing.
But that's the thing too. In everything that you just said, and I was listening. I feel like you have to understand in partnership, right? You said, I can read a book. I can do this. I can manage. And
I'm not saying I can't. I am well read.
My point, but let me finish. You said that makes you feel valuable. How you feel valuable to yourself is not necessarily how you're going to show up in value to a partner. And so the things that you pride yourself in being able to do, that may not matter at all to your partner.
He just asked me, what do I want to do for a man? So I can only explain.
You want to read him a book? Like, that's what I'm saying.
You know for a fact. So I'm that bitch. My niggas don't even know where the fuck the plates are.
That bitch, but
hold on, Mandy, let me talk, because you're putting words in my mouth.
I'm not. I'm asking you then.
You're trying to throw a book in my face. I have all of these things.
I'm not throwing a book at all. What I'm saying, stop being so defensive. Literally what I'm saying
then don't tell me what I'm about.
What you just said, you feel value in and hold pride in is what also 19 is saying, where we are prideful and feel we hold value in being boss ass bitches, a man may not. So his question was then, how and in what ways would you bring value to a partner outside of?
He didn't say outside of. You just asked me.
And then, let's look at it like this. When a man builds himself up, part of the way he's building himself up is so that he can be a good partner to a woman, right? When a woman thinks about ambition, the way she builds herself up has nothing to do with whether she's going to be a good partner to a man, right? So I then asked the question, what is a woman supposed to do? What is her role in the relationship? Because I remember when there was big conversation around, well, what does a woman bring to the table? And a lot of people just said presence. And obviously that's not enough because men now have the ability to have the presence of women like they are kings now.
Which is my point in saying that I do think there's to me, you can learn how to cook, bro. I'm sorry, you can. You can't really learn how to be nurturing. And I know that's one of my greatest assets in any relationship, platonically as well. But when I say that I'm not just a girl that will cook and clean, I do have more to me. That point was to say that to me is the value that I also bring. But I think it's something to bring up because it seems as though it's a deterrent to men. How can women show up as strong people and also be in their feminine energy?
Because the word strong is very interesting the way it's used, right? Because like, and that's specifically in context to like Black culture, right? because
I have
black
friends that say
woman
they don't want to be called a strong black woman.
Because that's masculine, right? How can you show up as a feminine woman because a man wants a feminine woman, right? You talking about strength for yourself, but it has nothing to do with whether that's a value in a relationship.
Agreed.
Because femininity is strength. So if you have strength if you strong in the areas of being nurturing, being a helpmate, being a communicator, right? Being able to be intuitive, being a guide in that area, then now you have value. Right? Because now I have this woman on my side that's like my second mind over here. You understand me? Like that's increased value. She sees things that I don't see. She has the energy that I don't have. She brings that to me, right? She sees things about myself that I don't see about myself, right? That's a powerful guiding energy that you can have in a woman, right? She's like, all great men throughout time, you can't become president as a single man. Right? You have to have a family
Andrew
because
Schultz
leading a family is microcosm to leading a nation.
He always says married men are the most successful. And I mean, throughout time, we've seen that.
That's having a mate.
But isn't it interesting that single women almost seem the most successful? And it's like, that's the motherfucker.
What is your grade of success?
What do you? I'm talking about like when you talk about CEOs or just women out there. Most women that we
grade success though is the question. Because you got to also...
We're talking about financially. The men that are making money out there.
So let's look at historically. Why are women in a position, specifically black women, right? In the position that they're in right now, right? So when we look at our community, specifically black community, it's a very different kind of dynamic than anybody else. Mm-hmm. Historically, it's not that black men have been lazy. Right? There's nowhere in history where you can find from 1865, we got out of slavery, industrial ages, black men starting businesses, created Greenwood, and created 60 plus more towns that was destroyed by this government America, right? There was the crack agenda. There was multitude of different things, redlining, lack of loans, black code, so many different things, pipeline to prison, bad education system. So it wasn't that black men was just being lazy for the last 100 plus years. Mm-hmm. No, it's that we have always been the most targeted group in America, right? And capitalism, as women go after, they call it patriarchy, but they're talking about white capitalistic structures that black men have never been included in at a high level to become successful. So now they find our women to be less threatening and they're opening up that door because that further creates a wedge in the gap. Look at the conversations being had now, right? That your success is weaponized to say that we're failures.
They are giving women the door, you're saying?
Well, absolutely. Doors have been opened. So women are, look at Kamala Harris, right? As a vice president. Look at, what's the judge that just became the judge? Then you got all of these, there's a lot of black women in positions of power. When they talk about diversity, they're going to promote different black women. They putting out their agenda, they're going to put a black woman in front of that to represent them. The power structure is still the same, but this individual success is supposed to represent progress for the black community, which it doesn't. Right? One person's success does not represent progress whatsoever. That's just their career. Now, the reality of it is that all of that has also been built off the backs of black men being killed and murdered and thrown in jail. Look at the whole thing with George Floyd. He had to be killed for a lot of white guilt to be propped up to the height that it is. And now diversity and inclusion is representation of women and black women leadership. But you have never seen a campaign ever where it said that we want to have more black male inclusion or black male diversity. There's never been a campaign. To this day, it still doesn't exist.
But black women have been counted out, though, 19.
I'm not saying you haven't been counted out. But in that same token where black women have been counted out, black men have always been counted out.
I agree with you on that, too.
But I'm saying that the success that black women are enjoying is a part of the fact that black men have been at war economically in this country. So now we looking at the results of the last 100 years and black women saying that, look, we successful. What y'all niggas doing? It's like, that the reason that everything has been catted up in this atmosphere is because of everything that happened before it. It's not that just generation is just better than the women and men before them.
I don't think black women are not understanding that black men specifically are incarcerated at alarming rates, or that the crack epidemic ruined families. But that's not a white women
though.
Don't step up like black women do. That's just facts. We can Google this shit.
But that you can't say but. That is huge. There's no other people in America that can say that. Like, so when you say, man, who cares that the incarceration is high? Black men
No, I'm not saying who cares.
But I'm saying, but when you say, but it minimizes that reality, right? When, listen, black men are the most targeted. We have the highest rates of homicide, violence, cancer, every disease. We have the worst statistics of any group in America. Yet it's not seen as the highest priority in America when people talk about activism. Why? Because nobody cares. You understand me? So with black men, young black men today at this generation are starting from way behind the 8 ball. And then they also saying that, well, now you behind this black woman who's doing better than you. So it's becoming weaponized against each other. Now it's battle of success of the sexes. Now her financial success is a representation of your failure. Right? And this is what's causing a bigger widening gap. Cause she's saying that I'm doing better than you. What you doing, nigga? And you are of the generation that gets the benefit because this is where society is, but that's only because of everything that happened before you.
I don't want to believe, because I don't speak that way about men that make less than me, that are doing. I don't ever be like, what the fuck are you doing? I want to know somebody out there working.
That's the tone, though. That's the tone that men hear when we talk about black women's success. 100%.
Absolutely.
It ain't what you say, it's how you say it all the time. Even with men that talk about women and the things that they want from women, most of the time they're 100% correct with their tone.
Then let's maybe dig into, I feel like when I have this conversation with black women millionaires specifically, they always say some shit to me about how they've never felt like they were prioritized, that men that are in their lane or of their caliber are dating models that aren't black, whether they be Latina and we know there are Afro-Latinas, or white women. Like, what about the black women that are feeling left out?
When did any time in the world black men said that they wanted, or men said that they wanted a millionaire woman? That's something that she wanted for herself, but it was never a qualification for attractiveness.
And on the flip side, as women, we do see that in men.
Women have always wanted.
What I'm saying is, my point about that though is success in men. We're talking about successful women. Are the successful men going after black women?
Yeah, most black men marry black women.
Yes, that's true. Most people of any race marry their own race. But we do see a lot of glorified relationships where black men, successful black men.
Glorified, which mean the media, and say, black people don't own the media. If we had our opportunities,
but black women don't own that idea of putting black men down. So that, whereas that's not a monolith. But that is glorified
in the media.
But I don't want to make the monolith of black women being successful and going out. If I had a daughter, I would want her to go out there and get it too. You know what I'm saying? I think
I love the fact that black women are getting money and are successful, but you also see the challenges now, right? That we talking about nature of masculine and feminine, right? Men are not going to change their nature to be attracted to women with money. That's not it. Right? So a man with money just wants a feminine woman.
And not vicious.
That's survival.
We got to post this chick every Sunday. We got to start posting some food, man.
And women should not just be going for men with money. And I think that's probably the bigger issue because most black men ain't got that much money. So most black women don't want the average man. That's the whole Kevin Samuels argument.
Yeah.
Is that your expectations are higher than reality. And
especially when you look at the numbers, 100%.
Right. Yeah. So now you got 20 women, 100 women, 1,000 women going at the one man, and then you mad at that man for choosing 10% of the options.
We had that clip that you, what was it about women competing?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that women should be competing for a man? And if so, what are the things that could make a woman stand out?
I think human beings go always compete for each other because at the end of the day, a man don't want to have a good man. Let's say I'm a good man, don't want any woman to have his baby, and a woman don't want to have a baby with any man. Mm-hmm. So they're always going to be competing with what they feel like is the top of the stock.
Yep.
That's human nature. That's beyond society roles. When you strip people of jobs, titles, careers, all of that, we talking about human beings. So I feel like developing yourself to be the best person possible, right, increases your attractiveness. Now, the problem is that what we're socially engineered to see as attractive is these things that will bring a person to you, but they're not going to keep you there, right? So, if I even want to compete in a social atmosphere of what people are attracted to, I got to step out fly. I got to look a certain way, right? I got to have these particular brands on. I got to have social status, right? I have to have some money. So this is how I even be seen. Now I'm competing against people who are seen in that same light.
Yep.
Right? So now, of course, now you got to be a communicator. Now the personality comes into it. Now when you dating that person, how do you keep that person so they don't end up going to somebody else? Now you're talking about character, right? How do I treat this person to where we can have longevity? It may work out for a year, maybe 2, then they back in the dating pool, right? So it's different levels. And I believe that in old times, they used to think about character. What type of person is that? Right? You bringing somebody home to your parents. Is this a noble person? Who's their family? What's their background? Where they come from? It was a real investigation into the character of who these people were. Mm-hmm. Now there's an investigation on what they have rather than who they are.
For sure. When you talk about top of the stock people, specifically for women, since we know that it's not success or money, what are some things you think off the bat are it for women that are competing for men?
I think look at the things that break up relationships. Disloyalty, honesty, discipline, focus, passion.
Not sex.
Right? No, we gonna get to this. You know sex. But shit, you can't know the sexual part till y'all have sex. You understand me? So sex is an experience you gotta have with somebody. The rest everything else you can start investigating, at least to start looking for those things first. Yeah. You understand me? You can have communication about what type of sex, and you can learn little things about a person, but you ain't gonna know until you do it, right? So you can't test out everything before you buy it. You know what I'm talking about? Some things you just gotta get non-physical communication about, right? But as a man, because it's the phase that we skip now in society, which is that whole what they call it when you're not sexually with somebody and you have somebody there with you.
Platonic?
You know what I'm talking about.
No. Wait.
They're doing it in the nation.
I feel like the fucking word is right
Courtship.
There. Courtship.
Yeah.
Oh.
We know that was always a part of relationships, even with marriages, right? There was a courting phase. We don't court first.
What should women be expecting from men with courting today, 2022?
Flowers, nice ones.
Well, yeah, I would say, all of I can't tell you about the different dating types. I don't even know. Some women like flowers. Some people don't like flowers.
Well, I would just say some basic things.
I think that basic things is communication, right? Talking with somebody, can they hold a conversation that keeps you interested for a long period of time?
Yeah.
Right? Because if they can and y'all feel like, I can just chill with this person and talk for hours, then you maybe could be with that person for days. Then you may be that person for weeks or months. But if y'all can't hold a decent conversation, but you're sexually attracted to that person, so let me just forget about that. Or the person got money, I don't need to talk that much anyway. But
them niggas don't be saying.
So what we do is we often ignore the signs instead of magnify them, right? So we ignore all the red signs for some of the green signs. You understand me? Well, this is a go, so forget the red signs. You can't even talk to bruh for an hour straight, 2 hours straight, right? I'm talking about not in no heightened situation. It's the most beautiful restaurant in the world.
Chilling.
Can y'all fucking sit on the park bench and talk to each other and hold each other?
And do picklebacks at a dive bar.
You know what I'm saying? That might not be sexy for how society looks at it, but I'm talking about long-term relationships. If you want short-term, then none of this matters for you. If you want long-term, then who they are and who you are and those two people actually meeting matters the most.
That's fair. I'd agree with that.
And what is their religion? What is their ethnicity? This is the thing. It's not just about dating inside race. You got to date inside your ethnicity, right? The difference between race and ethnicity is vast. A person, you can date a black woman, but her ethnic background could be a different religion, right? She speaks a different type of language. She has a different customs and beliefs and values, right? Do you all share that same ethnic background with each other? Because those are going to be the things that keep you together.
Why do you think that is, though? Because there's so many, to me, interracial relationships, and not that I'm in one or whatever. I'm just saying, like, why do you think that the ethnicity boils down to it?
Because ethnicity is those shared common values that you have. You understand me? Those beliefs that you have. Because in the black community, we don't all share the same beliefs on relationships, share the same belief on politics, share the same belief on God, right? Share the same beliefs on how masculine and feminine roles are supposed to go with inside that relationship. So if you meet a woman of the same ethnic background, but of a different race, you may feel like she has more shared things with you that you can get along with. Right. So we don't often realize that all black people have different ethnicities as well inside our diaspora. So we think we have to jump all the way outside our race to find somebody of the same ethnicity.
Do you?
What?
When you're like dating, do you ever think about that? Because
I told you I'm dating a Muslim right now, and I've dated multiple Muslims actually, but I think that's also just because I like niggas from Harlem apparently, and everybody is Muslim. I don't know.
He from 125th with the knowledge of supreme mathematics.
You know when you walk into a
shout out to the God, man.
And you smell the sage, I'd be like, oh, you don't eat pork.
There's some Palo Santo in the air.
So I don't look at that. I'm one of those people that questions so much. I don't think I'm coming in with the way I perceive what I want my household to be. I'm also a woman that doesn't want marriage or children. So to me, how I date, how I look for a partner is definitely different than someone who's looking,
I told you how people treat kids, period. Like, and this was yesterday, I said this. I watch it all the time, down to how men talk to my dog. I think it's really important to see how people treat kids or someone younger, because that always tells me character.
Oh, I just stay away from them.
How do you always get in a situation where you're around a person and children, though?
I'm saying like
a barbecue. You can be at a barbecue.
No, as you're developing a relationship, when they're on the phone.
Barbecue in a minute.
You ain't been to a barbecue?
Not in a minute. I've been in a minute.
Man ain't been to a barbecue.
I ain't never said I ain't been to no barbecue. Y'all just be saying stuff. I ain't been to a barbecue in a minute.
Come
on, man.
I was just at a barbecue. There was a lot of kids. Okay. I was like,
I just thought that was very specific. Okay.
Just for me, that's one of those like partnership things where like it's a hard no. If I'm going on a few dates, I see how they're talking to someone young. If they answer the phone to a family member, how they speak to them, especially the mother. I also
that was a key.
When men talk about their exes and they shit on them immediately.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that idea that people gotta hate their exes. I think that's terrible. I also think that people just hold on to trauma to victimize themselves and make themselves feel better about their own role in their self-destruction.
My ex is a piece of shit, but the other ones was good. The recent one was bad. Yeah. But to be real though, whenever I talk about them to someone else, I make sure not to emotionally dump, because I do want men to know, like, I chose to be with this person for a certain amount of years. I liked something about the nigga. He was a hoe. I thought that was what connected us in the beginning. I just didn't know he was going to keep hoeing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Speaking of hoeing and in relationships. So before we get out of here, I want to talk about new dynamics in relationships. So we see thruples. We see a lot of threesomes going on, things like that. Do you think in the age of polygamy, that's to me an older thought, where now polyamory is more of a new thing, that people can prosper in that?
In polygamy?
Polyamory.
Polygamy is when the women aren't,
where just the man can have multiple partners. Polyamory is where they both date outside of each other.
Let's even say men. Let's make it easy for you. Men dating women that also are dating each other, or thruples where the women have sex with each other.
So that's a new idea of polygamy, but that was never the idea of polygamy. The idea of polygamy was completely different. It was based on foundations of nation building and like bringing people into the household, but doing it the right way. Right? So, these new ideas and standards that people just create definitions and just put on words. That's why I always asking people, what does that mean to you? Because I don't want to be having a conversation with you and we talking about two different things.
So thruples, right? You have women that are bisexual. Like, again, we're speaking with men.
I don't think it's going to work. I'll just put a blanket statement on it. I think that because I think everything in long term. Right? It's like everybody got all these new concepts of how they want to run businesses. But then you got people that's been running businesses for 30, 40, 50 years. And these always, they come and they go. Right? Even, in the stock trading world, right? People can have successful ways they go about making $1 million, $2 million, but can they do it again? Right? And so a lot of people are going for, can things satisfy my desires in the short term?
So are you then saying you're a fan of monogamy for two people?
I am, yes. You know what I mean? Because I think that that's where you first learn yourself and you learn discipline and you learn what a relationship is.
Okay.
I think everything else is you not wanting to learn yourself in that and you want to throw in all of these other circumstances.
What about a couple that gets some pussy on just a vacation? You go to Vegas, she cute, bam. Do you think that can ruin when couples start exploring? Because we see that a lot. Couples of 5
has ruined a lot of couples like that. A lot of couples that have started exploring threesomes have been ruined because of that in the long term. They think that it's cool in the short term, and then they realize, like, damn, it wasn't for me. Or the other person wants to consistently have that thing happen. And now, emotionally and spiritually, that relationship is not the same. The thing about relationships is that you build a certain integrity in them, right? Integrity is the foundation of something, right? It's what it's made of. When you add somebody else in that, they disrupt the integrity of that. So it's no longer the same thing that you all initially built.
Adding them to the relationship, but you need not adding them into
the sex. Because once you add them into the sex, you're adding them into the most powerful part of the relationship, right? Physically, we got memories as well, not just mentally. So our body remembers the people that we with. We remember the circumstances that we in. So sex is one of the most powerful part of the relationship. So if you add somebody in there, even casually, they're now a part of that relationship history. You know what I'm saying? Your relationship got a blockchain and they don't forget.
It's called the cock chain.
Hey.
All right. Do you feel like we went easy on you?
No, I went easy on y'all.
Oh,
you know what?
I was being chill. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I didn't want to go too crazy.
All right, let's get the people what they want. What's your favorite position?
Man, on the throne. You know what I'm talking about? I just like being a nice thought leader. You know what I'm saying? Teaching people the game, educating people.
On a throne. You know
what? As a black guy.
Oh,
you know
wait. We didn't get a sex tip from you. And it can't be communication.
Man, I would say massage beforehand. You understand me? If you give each other massages, you understand me? It changes the dynamics of sex. It electrically charges and connects y'all.
You sound like this is disgusting. You are him. This is so weird.
Hey, where I gotta go?
God.
Because listen, the secrets are like. But listen, no, that's been a secret throughout time. That's the thing about sex is the oldest thing we ever done. So,
and then to stretch you after, that's another thing.
Foreplay.
Oh. Yeah. Massaging you before and stretching you after.
Sister said.
Chill. No, but for real though, because listen, the massage creates a deeper, intimate connection.
Absolutely.
Now, if you want to go to a whole nother level, you understand me? You might want to meditate before.
Oh.
Now listen. Y'all already talk about all of the physical stuff, so I'm gonna give you some of the spiritual.
Go ahead. What's meditating before sex look like?
So, y'all sitting close to each other on the opposite end of the bed.
Naked?
Y'all got some of the y'all can be naked or with a
No, that's a serious question.
Y'all. You don't have to be naked beforehand, but not full clothing. Y'all in the bed. You know what I'm talking about? So
you can't be in the bed with street clothes on.
No, not at all. Right? So then y'all got the music flowing. You know what I'm saying? Put on some Egyptian
Alexa
drum
play
music
Snow Allegra radio.
Egyptian drum music?
Oh wait, Egyptian drums? Not Snow Allegra.
So you don't fuck to like Jodeci or Brent Faiyaz then?
Well, I ain't going to my playlist. Now, what I'm saying is you throw on some of that music. So now y'all catching the same vibration. Y'all in the same mental space. Because y'all, let's say if you had your own day, he had his own day, y'all can be in two completely different mental planes. So what y'all doing is y'all connecting, right, on the same mental plane and spiritual plane. Mm-hmm. Then y'all connecting on the physical plane. You know what I'm talking about?
How long does that last?
Man, you talking about the sex or the meditation?
The meditation.
It could be short. It could be 5 minutes. You know what I'm saying? It could be 10 minutes, depend on y'all, but it doesn't have to go that long, but it's like you all are sort of like visualizing, connecting together, right? And so creating that connection beforehand, then you all are going into the most electrical thing that human beings can do, right? Which is provide each other pleasure. You understand me? And that's one of the highest states of joy. So I believe that instead of you all bringing the world into your bedroom from all of the thoughts, ideas, and things, you in a calm state when you have sex. So you're not passing along your problems and issues. You understand me?
I like being
that's
calm.
Important.
That's why a lot of people may smoke or have a drink before.
And it makes the man go longer because he's calmer, right? So when the sex is all riled up, that's when the man starts to have an orgasm and ejaculate. But if you come in a calmer state, now, you can handle.
What can we do if it's not Egyptian drums? That might freak a nigga out.
It ain't got to just be Egyptian.
It could be ocean waves.
Yeah, it could be ocean waves. It could be nature sounds.
Ocean waves.
It could be anything. And then y'all can go into y'all playlist or whatever y'all want to put on.
This nigga just talk shit about me because I was like, I don't do the stars and moon shit. He's like, nigga, you put on galaxy lights and listen to ocean waves. Nigga, yes, you do.
No, you got to do the cosmic energies. You know what I'm talking about?
I love it.
That's the key though. But see, that's what I'm saying. So, a woman that got the plants and she got the oils and, she know
why
how to do
do men love talking about the plants in my house.
Plants is so key. Weird. That's life. Because listen, plants lets me know at least an aspect that you're nurturing. You understand? Because you got to consistently water plants. For a woman to be in a relationship with a man, she got to water him as well. You know what I'm talking about? That ain't woke. That's regular stuff. See, this is femininity is what I'm telling you about.
To even think that way?
No, you gotta be feminine to think that way.
No, I'm saying men to look at women in that way.
No, you just go be masculine and feminine. I think this idea, like woke means so many different things to so many people. Some people say woke is the new sleep. Woke is political shit. Woke is hate.
I mean woke as far as like, I don't know if men have ever came in my home and they always comment on my plants because there's a lot, but ever came in and said, you're a nurturer because there are plants?
No, I don't think it's a subconscious thing. It's like when you go into a woman's atmosphere, it should be a certain type of energy because that's your energy, right? If you come in there and there's no life in there, how you gonna bring life to me? You know what I'm talking about? If you go in there and there's no food in the kitchen, you understand me? I know you don't cook, right? So these are subconscious things that we notice. A woman having like the plants and the crystals and all of those different things, that's how she charges herself up, right? A woman has a different responsibility than a man. Y'all have a womb. We don't have that. So those different things that you have to do to take care of that womb because you're going to bring life or you have the ability to bring life. You are completely more emotionally available than men because you have a womb. Right? So you produce different estrogen and different chemicals. So your environment should be a reflection of your nature. Right? The same way if you go into a man's home and everything is pink, it's not reflective of his nature. You don't want that kind of man.
Maybe like
I don't want a dirty one. I know that when they have a clean house.
You see, because also I think that's very masculine as well because it's very logical, right?
Cleanliness?
Yeah, cleanliness. You understand me? Because now it's like a man, when he wants to do something, he go into OCD. I need everything to be in perfect state so I can think. So what you're looking at is you're looking at a chamber of thoughts. Like this is a thinking man's room, unless it's like a creative, and then they can work in a different chaos. And then they
I was cooking the other night and I was like, oh, I'll take a picture of the plate when I'm done. This nigga was like, that doesn't really do anything for me. Send me a picture of the kitchen sink cleaned. All them pots and pans. I swear to God. This nigga said, all the pots and pans, show me a clean sink. Yeah. That actually is what
she dating 20 keys over there.
20 keys.
It's only 19 of them. There's no replacement. There's only
one. I think it's an interesting question to pose of, as someone that doesn't want kids or marriage, but is dating a Muslim man, how do you make sure that, does he ever complain about that? Because like, he's been happy in his relationship with you. I'm saying like, does he ever feel like he's unfulfilled? Because those are some of the things that you're saying a black Muslim man would want.
It depends on what his vision is. You understand me? I think that the idea for most men is you got a vision that your woman is going to produce children because you want to reproduce yourself. That's legacy, right? That's a very high standard of manhood, right? So when you talk to anybody, you got to ask them what their long-term vision is. Because for me, I can tell when a relationship don't work is when it don't have alignment. Right? If there are non-negotiables that I have on the table and you have some on the table and there's nothing else to go from there.
Yeah, it has more to do with your non-negotiables because I think that's also just an unfair way to view women, knowing that so many have fertility issues and can't create life. And so to me, it has more to do not even with religion, but more so what you want out of partnership, not even family building. Just because I do know and that's a conversation I've had with so many of my friends that feel as though, well, what is my value with men if I can't create life? Right. And so I still just want to be very clear that not every woman can. So
every woman can't, but that's a subtopic. And I think that's a very much smaller percentage that people make decisions from, right? People that have reproductive issues, then that's completely different. That is a physical thing. You're talking about people that just don't want to have children because that's part of their beliefs. You understand me? And they don't want to. And I also don't want it to be conflated because some people can use that argument when it has nothing to do with the reason why they don't want to have children.
Are you cool with new reproductive ways like egg freezing and IVF?
I mean, for people that need it, yeah. If people that really want to have children, if they adopting and figuring out all of this different stuff, that's on them. But I feel like as an alternative, because of the way you want your lifestyle to be, I'm not cool with it.
You know what? I gotta say, you impressed me with that answer because you're not as all the way as I thought you were. I don't appreciate when men who may believe in science or not can't be empathetic enough to understand why a woman would want to make that choice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm multidimensional. I just look at everything not from my perspective. I look at everybody's perspective. I'm not just talking to people who think like me. I'm talking to the world. So if I'm talking to the world, I'm thinking of what is a circumstance in a condition where this would be acceptable because this person doesn't have the same ability like every other human being. Then yeah, but I feel like once it becomes an alternative, right, because of lifestyle, then that's when
you want to stay skinny. No, it's very important for men to hear you say that. Seriously.
Yeah, I think too many people do use the excuses of using modern ways, and then they start throwing in statistics and stuff that have nothing to do with them, right? And so they actually disrespect the people that actually need those alternatives because it has nothing to do with what they need.
I told Mandii on a Patreon episode recently that I just found out I had fibroids and the doctor told me I got to freeze my eggs. And I told one of my male friends and he was like, you gonna meet so many men that ain't gonna want to fuck with you after that. And I'm like, yo, I couldn't even believe he said that to me. Instead of saying sorry that happened to you,
right?
But was steady on people want natural kids. I'm like, the egg freezing means I can still carry the kid.
I mean, today I feel like I don't know what men and women want out there. I think people have all sort of different things that they want now. I'm surprised every single day I learn something new. You dig? So I can't say what men and women don't want. I feel like these alternative lifestyles that I'm seeing every single day is letting me know that they don't even know what they want.
What's something alternative you think you do?
I ain't doing no alternatives. Shit, I am no alternative.
Well, before we get out, then tell us something you learned today.
I feel like being, but I'm gonna say this. I feel like being the type of like black guy that I am, masculine energy that I am, I'm already the alternative to society because I feel like this is no longer the norm. I'm the exception now. You understand me? And so being like myself is where young men are trying to get themselves up to, right? Because I grew up with a different kind of foundation. I grew up in a state where I seen black men with money and power and consciousness, right? And business and entrepreneurship, right? I look and I study the greats. So for me, I'm of the 1% on the planet Earth. I'm not in representation of the average male. You understand me? So I'm trying to teach men to be above average. I am. And that's why I'm a good representation because, I'm teaching people how to walk in their power, how to think with power. And at the same time, I don't make excuses for shit. You understand me? Everything I got is because I went and built it myself. I went and learned something and then I did something about it. Nothing was given. There's no awards given. There was no doors open. That's why I made a tweet the other day. It's like, it ain't no more OGs out here. And I wasn't talking about like, it ain't old people that give advice. There's plenty of them, but it ain't people that is in industries that's opening the doors and providing opportunities for a younger generation because they see that potential and they want to help guide them in that space. So for me, what I do is I actually educate and I teach people. And now our goal is to open up them type of opportunities that I didn't have. You know what I'm saying? Because I do want to duplicate myself. It shouldn't just be one fine guy walking around.
You can't do that shit without no damn semen retention. Let it go.
I feel like the average person should stop chasing sex right now, right? Men and women. Like, I feel like this is a very important season for you to discipline yourself. We're going in a recession, possibly a global depression, right? And a lot of people spend money just on trying to increase their odds of having sex.
Well, let's be clear. We keep watching this show, okay? Keep
fucking. Y'all can keep watching the show, but you don't need to keep watching them hoes. You know what I'm talking about?
All right.
What?
I'm not gonna lie.
All right.
That was fucking funny.
No, but look, this is a real, I'm very serious though, because I feel like a lot of young men out there chasing sex and a lot of women out there chasing sex, right? And that ambitious energy that you put towards sex, if it was put towards business or skill development, you would be in a much better place, right? You will increase your value.
Don't focus too much. Don't be too ambitious out there.
No, I mean, I'm not going to tell women to not be too ambitious. I just want to say, make sure you develop yourself feminine, right? There's a soft business life as well, right? Where you're not trying to become a man in business. You want to become a woman in business. And I think early on, women were trying to become just like men in business. And now I think the new turn of the century is, how do I be feminine in business at the same time? Because the example of aspiration was white man. I want to be a CEO, so I'm going to act just like a white man. So when you bring that energy back to the household, I don't want that. I want feminine energy. That's what attracts me.
I do think there's a place for both. Like, there's this chick I was getting into it with online who said women aren't good leaders or shouldn't be leaders, that she's a lazy leader. She said women shouldn't be leaders. There's no way for that. We need rules and protocol. But I got to be real. Like, I think that's a really weak argument. And Mandii and I were saying, like, if maybe she talked about being a housewife or something like that, maybe that would make sense. But like, if you gonna work, I do think you should be absolutely the best at what you do. I'm not out here to just be second fiddle to anybody. Like, no matter what I do, I'm going to be the best of the best. And that's probably why I am a leader in what I do. However, I think that encouraging women to lead has opened a lot of those doors you were talking about. When you talked about giving people opportunities, that's my real goal. First, it was to get money. And then I realized now I got what I want and I love growing it for others. And I think we've got to give Black women a lot more credit as they're hiring at alarming rates. And Black women are doing a really good job at keeping shit Black. I've been giving out so much money. I know you talked about Kenya Barris recently about putting LGBTQ people in and Asian people and shit, but I work for him and I manage 7-figure budgets and I have yet to cut somebody white a check. Like, you know, it's... And
y'all cut any Black Muslims some checks?
We can talk. But my point is, like, we've definitely got to give these Black women some credit. What they're trying to do.
That's why I don't have no hate towards no Black women. I love Black women. You understand me? And I love to see successful Black women. I just don't like how media pits it against each other. You understand me?
We could work and cook.
It doesn't have to be that Black women's success represents Black men failures. At all.
I like that.
And I think that that's a key when we talking about it, because if we don't own the media and Black men don't own the media, Black women don't own the media. So we don't own the narrative that we even discuss, right? And I think that that's the most dangerous thing because they control what we think about each other because they put out these arguments and these conflicts and they keep us talking about it as if that's the normal issue that exists in our society. And on an average day and basis, a Black man knows a Black woman that he gets along with, that he builds with. You understand me? And if those was highlighted more, it'd be more examples for people to follow, people to watch, and people to go after. But because it's the negative bullshit that's being pushed by, these companies, therefore, we don't even look at each other as brother and sister in family matters anymore.
Why you look at me? Should we snap?
I mean, if you want, if it was poetic.
Tell people where to find you. And you have a podcast, right?
Yeah. It's a talk show more than a podcast.
What's the difference?
Well, because it's more of a visual experience more than anything.
Carisha,
right?
please.
If you go look at all of your talk shows back in the day, right? Whether it was Oprah or whether it was, I don't know, any talk show you think of.
Jenny Jones.
We rivaled them, you understand me, at a high level. Like when you watch it, it's a visual experience with the B-roll. It's like watching a documentary,
Dope.
You understand me? So right now, we're just getting more into the audio experience, right? To make sure that more people are listening to it as well.
Audio got the dollars that YouTube CPM don't, baby.
Look, I asked Charlamagne this morning about that. You understand me? And I asked Detavio from Revolt, and they was giving me the game on the video and the audio side. Because video, I think we had like 5 million views last month. You understand me? So now it's time to get up the audio side.
It's a real
we got the best in the world.
Interesting thing. Like I remember academics went on and said nobody listens to Whoreible Decisions. They ain't shit because he's a YouTube guy. And Charlamagne got on Brilliant and was like, you don't really understand. And I had a meeting, I was telling you about it before, but this dude was saying like, I know that you're building these video podcasts, but I can't explain to you how much higher the CPM is for audio. Like people that listen to audio get paid so much more.
Yeah. They paying more for audio. And it's
hard because people find you when clicking on a video. So taking them back, we're turning into a new age.
I think it's going to turn where people see the value in video more. And certain production studios and distribution do still right now. Like Revolt is more, I think, focused where they value video a lot.
So they're getting a podcast.
They're getting a podcast.
They have a podcast network
as well.
Well, they're building it out right now.
Yeah,
so.
But the audio right now, man, that's key. I think everybody should have a podcast. I don't think you can have enough. I just think that the average podcast not even getting that many listens in the first place.
118 downloads.
What they get is they make people feel like it's oversaturated and it's not. Right? Most industries are not oversaturated. Music, writing a book, podcasts, the average person should have those things.
Yeah.
Right? And number one, it is a way for, if you have a business, you should have a podcast. It's a way for people to hear about your business, throw in commercials in it. When we started off, I only had commercials for my business in there. Right? And you're talking about millions and millions of views. So now 15, 20 million views later, those are 15, 20 million people that now know about my products, know about my services. So if without that media, let's say the economy starts to slow down in other areas, I can still use media to help give me a boost. So if you don't have that, then you don't have power in the space nowhere. You got to go pay somebody else to try to get their attention. So attention is the one commodity that regardless of what's going on in the world, it continues to increase in value. Yeah. You know what I mean? So what y'all doing over here, you understand me? Y'all gonna always have value. Sex gonna always sell. People always not gonna know what to do in a relationship. They gonna always make horrible decisions. And they gonna always need high level conversations.
We like that. Matter of fact, make us, what was it, high level pussy? We got to make that a shirt. Start your little network. We gonna be the high level pussy. But anyway, promoting our business. Check us out if you want some more episodes of us solo on our patreon.com/Whoreible Decisions.
See me at 19 Keys at my YouTube channel or on your leisure, high level conversations.
And thank you guys for tuning in to yet another episode of Whoreible Decisions.
Bye.